Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Swarna Ma'am's Biology. In this video, I will be explaining you about the plasmodium vivax life cycle in mosquito. So let us start. So in the last class, we have discussed about the life cycle of plasmodium in man. So now we are discussing about the sexual cycle of mosquito. Okay. So discussing about the sexual life cycle of plasmodium, which happens in the mosquito, we know that the mosquito is a definitive host where the sexual cycle of the plasmodium is taking place. So in man, so we know that we have seen that in man, the gametocytes are formed. So what are those two gametocytes? Male gametocyte as well as female gametocyte. Okay. So these male and female gametocyte we have discussed in the plasmodium vivax life cycle in man. These male and the female gametocytes which are formed will be present in the blood of the malarial patient, and they will be circulating in the blood. And whenever the mosquito comes and bites and or sucks the blood of this malarial patient, these gametocytic stages which are present in the that malarial patient are entering into the mosquito. Means the gametocytic stages which are present in the malarial patient, that is man, are entering into the female Anopheles mosquito when this mosquito is biting the blood of this malarial patient. So, first here the gametocytic stages, that is the male gametocyte as well as the female gametocyte. So, this is the male gametocyte and this is the female gametocyte. They are entering into the mosquito when this mosquito comes and bites or sucks the blood of a malaria patient. So, these gametocytic stages. So, this male gametocyte, this is the male gametocyte and this is the female gametocyte. So, this female gametocyte becomes the female gamete, whereas the nucleus of the male gametocyte undergoes mitosis and forms small nuclei surrounded by a portion of cytoplasm. Means each nuclei or each daughter nuclei is surrounded by a part of the cytoplasm by a process which is called as exflagellation. So each one is the male gamete. So the nucleus is dividing into small nuclei which are surrounded by a piece of cytoplasm. So what we are calling it as exflagellation, and each one forms one male gamete. So here the female gamete is formed and here the male gamete is formed. So one of the male gamete is entering into the female or fusing with the female gamete and the fertilization is taking place. So due to the fertilization, we know it causes formation of zygote. So the resultant of the fertilization is zygote. Now this zygote develops a small projection like thing which we are calling that structure as ookinite. Okay, so this zygote is developing a small structure, okay, which helps in piercing the wall of the mosquito and coming onto the top of the crop wall. Crop means stomach of the mosquito, and we call that structure as ookinite. Now this ookinite is piercing the crop wall and coming and sitting on the top of the crop, means it is coming onto the wall of the stomach of the mosquito. Okay. Now, this ookinite, after coming and sitting on the top of the wall of the mosquito, it forms a small layer of cyst around it, and we call it as oocyst. Means this ookinite, when it is coming out and sitting on the top of the crop, it is forming a small cyst wall, and we are calling that as oocyst. Okay. Now, this nuclei of the oocyst divides by mitosis and forms small nuclei, followed by the division of cytoplasm which surrounds this nuclei. Okay, and we call that structure as sporoblast. Okay, and this sporoblast results in the formation of small sporozoites where each one is surrounded by that is the each part of the nuclei. Each daughter nuclei is surrounded by a small part of the cytoplasm. So all these are known as sporozoites, and this structure we call it as sporocyst. Okay, so the sporocyst is containing what are called as sporozoites. Now, this sporocyst, okay, this sporocyst, that means the cyst wall or the wall of the the wall of the sporocyst becomes weak, breaks or ruptures, and liberates these sporozoites to outside. Okay, now all these sporozoites are liberated into the mosquito, and they travel all through the way and will be ready again in the salivary glands. Now, all the sporozoites come and stay in the salivary glands of the mosquito. And this mosquito, when it bites and sucks the blood of a normal person, these sporozoites immediately enter into the man and carry which cycle? It again carry the asexual cycle, that is the zygogony in the liver cell. So what we have discussed in our previous video, that is life cycle in man continues. Okay. So what we have discussed today is a life cycle of the plasmodium in mosquito. Okay. So here, the first stage is the entry of the gametocytes into the mosquito when this mosquito is biting or and sucking the blood of a malarial patient. So both the male gametocyte and the female gametocyte enter into the crop, means stomach of the mosquito. The female gametocyte is forming the female gamete, and the male gametocyte by the exflagellation it is forming the male gamete. And one of the male gamete means 8 male gametes are formed. One of the male gamete is now entering into the female, and the fertilization is taking place, resulting in the formation of zygote. Due to this fertilization, where the male and the female gametocytes are fusing, we call this cycle as sexual cycle in mosquito. Okay. So here the zygote is formed, which develops a small structure-like thing, which we are calling it as ookinite. This ookinite pierces and comes and sits on the top of the crop wall and secretes a small cyst wall around it. We call it as oocyst. The nuclei of the oocyst divides by mitosis and forms small nuclei surrounded by the cytoplasm. We call the entire structure as sporocyst, and each sporocyst contain those small that is nuclei which is surrounded by what cytoplasm we calling them as sporozoites. Okay. Now the wall of the sporocyst becomes weak, ruptures, and liberates these sporozoites into the mosquito. They travel to the entire way and comes and again stays in the salivary glands, and they are now ready again for infection. Whenever this mosquito um, bites a normal person, these sporozoites are introduced into that person and carry the that is asexual cycle in the man. Okay, so this is about the sexual life cycle of the plasmodium in mosquito. Hope you like this video. If you like, please give a like, share, and subscribe my channel Swarna Ma'am's Biology. Thank you.